So, welcome to lesson 2. So, up until now, we spent the time looking at why we do as we do, what is the pitfalls of our brain, and why we're making bad money decisions. In this lesson, the key takeaway is that we take control of our money by building habits. And this is paying yourself first, living below your means, giving every dollar a job, as well as building better habits in general. So first up, to bridge the gap between lesson 1 and lesson 2, how do we use the insights of lesson 1 to change the way that we spend? As Robbie talked about, we are constantly being pushed around, being distracted, and our greatest resource here is our calm logic thinking, namely System 2 of Kahneman. We cannot always rely on this system because, as we also talked about, there is a diminishing return. At some point, you're getting exhausted of constantly trying to outweigh the options and strategizing and trying to lay a plan. And this is where habits are. Daily systems, daily actions is very important, but the main essence here is that you create a way of doing things that you don't have to think too much about afterwards. So you just do them. In this example is to set boundaries. You always decide at the start of the month how much is going towards the bills, how much is going towards the savings, how much is going towards fun money or eating out. What is your limits? And this will also make sense a little bit later when we look in budget in lesson 3. But for now, let's just stick to the idea of setting boundaries. Check your bank account every day at the end of the day. See where you spend money. Get a feeling of where your money goes. It's not for you to feel bad about your spendings, but it's about building awareness and not being afraid to look at your account every once in a while. And thirdly, rewire your actions. And for example, use nudging against yourself. So make it easy to make good financial decisions and make it difficult to make bad financial decisions. And this sounds simple, but this could, for example, be to have 2 accounts in your bank, one with the money you have set aside after bills and savings and whatever, and the other one with your savings. This forces you to only spend the amount on the first account, and if you were to need money additional to what you have set aside, you would have to physically go into your account and transfer from your savings to the other account. This is a hurdle making your brain stop up for a second and thinking, okay, I'm actually betraying my own plan right here. And then you get a moment to realize the savings, which I'm about to transfer to buy something, is that really worth it? And this is on the contrary of having everything on one account and you just spending and thinking of, okay, I've set this amount aside, but let's see at the end of the month. Another habit could be that you set a goal for yourself to only buy groceries on one day of the week, and then you have to buy for the whole week in one trip. This forces you to make a plan of what you want to buy. It forces you to reflect on the amount of total money you spend, and also to figure out the smartest way to do so. And this applies to a lot of situations. The main point here is that you take time out to be logical, to use System 2, to be logical, strategic, you set up boundaries, so that you, throughout the weeks, throughout the months, or whatever, you don't have to think about it. You just have to do what you set out to do. But for now, we'll take inspiration of some of the books that I've quoted, for example, The Richest Man in Babylon, Tiny Habits, The Badfoot Investor, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and so on. And we'll start out with paying yourself first. So what does paying yourself first mean? It means that you focus on your goals first and putting yourself first in line and then reordering all the priorities after you, so afterwards. And this is, for example, prioritizing setting aside 10% of your income into savings. And by doing so, you take the first 10%, no matter what, of your pay and put it into savings. Then all other costs come secondly, and you make sure that you take certain steps towards your goal. And this is also to flip the script of many people, as they will get their paycheck, then they will first cover all bills, then they'll cover all their expenses, and then at the very end, they'll see, how much do I have in savings? At every step of the way, there's a huge possibility of you not setting a question mark of that cost. Whereas if you turn it around and take 10% into savings, every cost from here on, you have to prioritize and say, okay, I have this fixed amount of money, I have 90% left of my pay. Does that cover all my costs? Or no? And that makes you prioritize, okay, do I really need this Netflix? Do I really need this cost? Or can we cut it off? Can we reduce it? Is there some way of altering these 90% and not the 10%? Fourth, Take control of your money habits.